A Pemberley Medley. 5 Pride and Prejudice variations. Written by Abigail Reynolds. Narrated by Elizabeth Clatt. Intermezzo. Elizabeth gazed at her reflection in the mirror, wondering if the changes of the last year showed in her face as much as she felt them in her heart. To-day was a day full of memories. The last time she had prepared for a ball at Netherfield, she had taken more than usual care with her appearance, in hopes of winning Wickham's heart. Now she was thankful he had never made an appearance, preventing her from making an even greater fool of herself than she had managed without his presence. This ball would be quite different, and her preparations had not been elaborate. All eyes would be on Jane at the ball, and Elizabeth had no one to impress with her beauty. There would be no Mr. Wickham, and no Mr. Darcy to-night. How blind she had been, to believe the one and scorn the other, and not to recognise the attentions Mr. Darcy had been paying her for what they were. A familiar feeling of guilt settled over her at the thought of Darcy. Her shame over her infamous treatment of him at Hunsford had only increased during the intervening months. It began after Mr. Bingley's sudden reappearance at Netherfield in May. Anxious over the prospect of encountering Mr. Darcy again after their embarrassing parting in Kent, Elizabeth had asked Bingley on his first visit to Longbourn whether his friend intended to join them. The look of concern which had crossed that gentleman's face had been unmistakable. "No, unfortunately he will not, although I invited him. He is not of a sociable bent these days," he had said. "He is in a very black humour, no one knows why, but he has closeted himself away and does not even receive callers. I have only seen him once myself, when he called on me to tell me, to give me some intelligence that he thought I might find useful." Bingley had glanced at Elizabeth with an embarrassed smile then, allowing her some hint as to what the information might have been, and how it might have related to his abrupt return to Hertfordshire. "I have never seen him look so ill. I hope his spirits recover soon. He is the best of men, and I hate to see him in such distress." She had known that he must have been disappointed by her refusal, but she had not thought that, given the level of reservations he had expressed in his proposal, he would find much difficulty in overcoming his affections. The discovery that she had the power to cause him such suffering was a sobering one, the more so as she spent more time in Bingley's company, as Jane's chaperone, and heard his stories, which often enough included Darcy, always in a most favourable light. It was clear that he thought Darcy to be the soul of generosity, thoughtfulness, and cleverness, a view which quite contradicted that which Elizabeth had held. When in due course Bingley and Jane became engaged, Bingley made a trip to London to arrange matters with his attorney and to settle some business. On his return, he was in as much of a temper as Elizabeth had ever seen him. As usual, she had been in the background when he talked to Jane, his voice raised in anger perhaps louder than he realized. "I told him of our engagement, and he congratulated me and seemed to speak with sincere pleasure at the news, but then when I asked him to stand up with me at our wedding, he refused. He said that business would not permit him to leave London, as if I would believe such an excuse. It is only half a morning's travel, and 2 months away. How could he possibly be too busy? I was hurt, but I remained civil, and expressed my hope that he would be at least able to attend our wedding, and he said that he thought even that unlikely to be possible. I grew angry then, and accused him of disapproving my choice, which he adamantly denied, saying that once he might have taken other considerations in mind, but now he thought differently, and was nothing but delighted that I was taking this step. And when I pressed him again to come, he turned away and said, 'Bingley, you do not know what you are asking.' And then he went so far as to ask me to leave. I would never have thought it of him. I have misjudged him badly in thinking him a good friend." Jane, with a glance at Elizabeth, had placed her hand on his arm to stop him at that point, but the damage had been done. It had been difficult for her to forgive herself after that, to know that her cruelty towards him had been such that he would risk ending a long and valued friendship.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.